Hello guys, welcome back to another fantastic video on the channel. Today we're going to be jumping down into some Chester gameplay, and these are the builds that I'm currently using. So Chester, I generally like pushing Chester instead of jump grab, and we're going to be jumping down into some double switch games. We are facing up against long range brawlers on this map, which is definitely fine. It's definitely okay, but let's talk about the build that I'm currently using on the Chester. So since this is double swoosh, I definitely like going the vision gear. Is really good. And the second, you typically want to have the speed gear. I don't have the speed gear here, but if you don't have it, even damage gear works really well. So is gonna have a fun time as long as you're picking those gears in order to just bamboozle your enemies on bushy maps, right? And then what happens if the map is not bushy? What should I do if that happens, right? Then you definitely have other gears that you can make work inside of your games. So I generally go with the shield gear and the damage gear, and that's going to be my choice. Very versatile picks. You can make it work in almost all kinds of open-ended maps, but that's going to be my personal recommendation. So for the gear, that's going to be my recommendation. And the gadget, I'm currently going with the second gadget just because second gadget is just really good and better than the first gadget. The first gadget is very unreliable. It just changes your supers, which may or may not work in your favor, and I just don't usually find value out of it. The second gadget, however, gives you buffs such as additional damage, additional reload, additional speed, additional healing, and it's definitely better. You definitely get a lot more stronger with that. And the next point I want to make is what kind of brawlers that you want to go up against when you're playing Chester is mainly a counter for assassins. I feel like Edgars, Mortises, Leons too, and Buzz, you will counter them really hard as long as you are using the right super in the right situation. You're gonna have a fun time, and you'll be able to save your dynamics, your throwers against the assassins as well if you play it well. So what Chester is not good against is gonna be the long range brawlers such as Piper, Nanny, even I would say the newest brawler, that is Juju. She has a lot of range, especially with her grass attack, so be very careful of Juju. And even Angelo can counter Chester just depending on the matchup. And the map is also really important. These brawlers are really only good into Chester because of the open-ended bounty maps that we have. So do not pick Chester there. Long range brawlers, I generally do not recommend pushing Chester against them, and you just are really setting yourself up for trouble if you're just going against a Piper that's gonna outrange you and easily be able to take you down. And the next thing I want to say is, against mid-range brawlers, Chester is not bad, but is not particularly good either. And what do I mean by that is that it's just going to depend on the skill of the player who wins that matchup. So let's say, for example, if you're going up against a Sandy or a Surge, it's all about who gets the super first. And if you allow the Sandy to charge up their super, they're going to be really annoying to take down, and they're going to just dominate the game. And against Surge, you already know Surge ramps up super fast with his super, and you definitely do not want to be giving any sort of supercharge to the Surge, and just stay away from Surge, chip them down, maintain your distance, and you're gonna have a fun time in your lane against some of the mid-range brawlers. And let's go into some of the game modes that I recommend pushing him. So I personally push Chester inside of gem grab, so that's my comfort. But if you are more comfortable with playing Brawl Ball, if you're more comfortable with playing Hot Zone, or even Knockout, for example, he's not particularly that good in Knockout, but you can make it work. You can make Chester work inside of Knockout. You're gonna have a lot of fun time inside of that game mode, right? So if you are comfortable in a particular game mode, pick him. But I will say that do not pick him in bounty. No matter your comfort level, you are not gonna have a fun time there. Do not pick Chester inside of heist. You're not gonna have fun there. You may win some games in heist, but you're gonna lose so many more games, and it's not a fun time. I personally do not recommend heist, even if you are able to counter those tanks in heist. I generally do not recommend it, and that's only because you need to do some damage on the safe in heist. If you're not able to do that, then you cannot win. That's just how it goes. So also, if you're seeing a lot of bushes on the map and a lot of walls, that's a map that you want to play Chester, and it's going to be really, really good. And depending on the matchups as well, you're going to pick Chester, right? And then the last thing that I want to say is that you really have to do the right thing for your teammates. You have to help your teammates out more than anything. That's how you win Brawl Stars. Synergy is the key to victory, and that is very, very true with Chester. He's a really, really fun brawler to play, and I hope you guys have fun